Hello everyone, once again we are going to be taking another look today at a new vehicle from Honda. If you've watched my old video, I referenced this one, so thank you guys for coming back to check this one out. Today we are looking at the all-new 2023 Honda HR-V. So this vehicle came out back in 2015 or 16. It had a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. It was mated to a CVT with all-wheel drive. Cool little car, not very quick, but it was practical and economic, and it sold very well for Honda. And for 2023, they completely overhauled it. So not even the general shape looks the same as it did before. You've got all new headlights, a functioning air curtain down here, which is pretty cool to see in this segment. You get this honeycomb looking front grille, which looks like it's got two different patterns in it. So you've got like these pieces and then these pieces. It's quite a bit going on. It looks kind of cool. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You got a nice big air intake down in the bottom. This is a naturally aspirated 2-liter. It does make a little bit more power than the outgoing model. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Up on the hood, you get the nice big Honda logo and a pretty clean flat hood. There's just a couple little marks that come up from here, go all the way back. You get a good crease going all the way down the side, and then it pretty much loops right into the rear window, which is pretty nice. Coming around the back, you get a similar looking rear to the outgoing model, but they definitely have updated housing with little, I don't even know what those shapes are, but they're little squares, almost like 3D looking squares, which is pretty cool. You've got your LED reverse lights, your all-wheel drive indication right there, little sticker. You could definitely pull that off if you wanted. Rear wiper, nice and clean, flat black on the back. You can't really tell where the exhaust pipe is. It's all the way over there, so you can see it over there. Pretty well tucked away, nice and clean, nothing super crazy. You've got your backup camera there, and then the electronic release for the rear. This one is an LX, so it is just the base model, so no electric assist for the back hatch, but you can see there is plenty of space back here. It's wide in the front, but not so much as you get closer to the rear seats, because you get the big arches where the wheels are. So would have been nice to see a little bit more, but really usable space back here. Like the CR-V that we just looked at, this thing's still so fresh. It's got the plastic on the seats, so I'll do my best with that. But you do have the same type of mechanism to put the rear seat down. Same little cargo shelf thing here, LED lights in the back, 12-volt socket, which is super nice to see. Then underneath here is just a bit of storage, and then if I could get it up, I think, yep, there is a spare tire down in there, so you gotta kind of work for it. So if you got a lot of stuff back here, you are definitely going to have to pull it all out in order to get to it. But the actual liftgate itself is really light, so you shouldn't have too much issue with that, even despite it being not electrically operated. You get your fuel door here. It is just a quick little push, and it is capless, just like most of Honda's newer vehicles. Quick little click, and it is nice and closed. Then 4 tires. This is setting on a set of Hankooks. They are 215/60 R17s. So definitely a very thin, skinny tire, but it's pretty efficient. You can see the tread on this front one. It's a decent tire. It's not going to blow anybody away, but you know, it is what it is. They're road tires. I believe these are all seasons. So if you live in a really snowy climate, you're definitely going to want to set a pair of snow tires on this thing. So just kind of keep that in mind. It should do all right for, you know, basic stuff, but anything extreme winter weather or otherwise, you're definitely going to want to upgrade the tires. Let's check out the back seat. So it is fairly cramped in there, honestly, but the back seats are this really nice material. They are fabric, but they feel very soft, and I think they're honestly some of the... Let me sit in this thing. Okay, so let me put this seat back. So weirdly enough, I think I have the same amount of headroom in this than I did in the CR-V that we just drove. Legroom is about the same, again, sitting behind myself as a front row passenger, so or a front row driver, I should say. So not bad back here. Again, they only do the one pocket, which makes no sense to me. And there's no air vents in the back. It's just that little cubby, and otherwise completely nothing back there. But let's talk about the door pockets, because that's where people put all of their stuff, right? So on this car, I've noticed they've gone with a completely new design language. Everything is soft touch. So this is the base version, but you still get this really nice material here. It's like a synthetic leather on the door, so everything is nice to touch, and you've just got this really cool look to it. It doesn't go all the way through, so it is a little storage compartment down there, which is pretty nice. But you know, it is what it is there. You've got a power window in the back, as you would expect. Nice big speaker grill, nothing super fancy there. But these seats are super comfortable, so if you do have people in the back, they're going to be right at home. So let's check out the front end, because that is where you're going to be spending most of your time if you decide to pick up a brand new HR-V. All right, front seat time. So where you're going to notice a lot of things being the same. With the door pockets, you do get a pretty tight little cubby space there for a drink and a little snack or something. You get that same type of soft touch material on the front and a little cubby to put everything in. And then getting inside, let's go ahead and start this little thing up. So even on the base model, you still get push button start, which is nice. So it is still a textured plastic steering wheel, so none of the premium updated stuff or upgraded stuff like you would find in the higher trims or anything like that, but I think that's fine. For a base car, I think the textured plastic works just fine. You've got your very tactile feedback. Can you hear that clicking? It just feels so good to click all of those. You know exactly where you're at when you click it. You get all of their standard safety stuff, so cruise control with adaptive distance keeping, I don't know. All of your media controls, you get all kinds of cool stuff up on the display there. You can see how much power is going to the wheels. You can see driver attention, speed, and time. Like, there's a bunch of information that you can really play around with to see your to kind of fit your needs. Again, this looks pretty much just like the new CR-V, so you're not really getting anything less there. You do have a little bit smaller of a screen. This looks like a 7-inch display, I believe. So nothing crazy, but it will give you the backup camera. It'll give you all of your phone integration, your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto. I don't know if it is wireless on this particular trim, probably not, but right down below in this nice little cubby spot down here, they give you a USB type A good sized place to put your phone. Even some of the bigger phones will fit in there. 2 cup holders, and you also get their new key, which is really small, super compact, super easy. I don't know why they put a button on here for the rear hatch. It's probably just to unlock it. I don't think it actually does anything, but you get this like shape of a car almost out of just the key. A pretty cool touch. You've got your regular mechanical shifter. I believe HRVs have had this for a little while. Make sure to let me know in the comments if that's not the case. But then you get your drive mode selector, downhill descent control, parking brake electronic, as well as parking brake hold function. And then something that's cool is you actually get another USB port down here with a separate cubby to place your phone in, which is pretty darn cool for a car in this segment. I've never seen that before. Then you get a decent sized little center console here, so you know, nothing too crazy, but plenty of space for all of your road trip snacks and whatnot. So now that I've taken you on a quick little tour around the car, why don't we get out on the road? We'll see how much power this thing has, get it up on the highway, do a quick little stint on that, and then we'll kind of wrap things up. So without further ado, I will see you guys in. All right, so we are out on the road right now. Not too bad. Pretty peppy, actually. We're gonna take this out on the highway here, and first impressions are it's pretty quick. This thing, like I said before, is a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. This thing makes 158 horsepower and 136 pound-feet of torque. So not the best numbers in the class, but for a naturally aspirated little 2-liter, I think it's actually a pretty good amount of power, if I do say so myself. I mean, I do drive a Camaro, so clearly I'm not used to something with this low of power, but for a vehicle like this that is going to be used as an everyday driving car, plenty of use out of it. I'll put the numbers for cargo space up on the screen here, so that way you guys can see how much space it has. But it drives really well upon first impressions. I've only gone about a mile, so let's get it up on the highway. Light just turned green, so here we go. Suspension's pretty solid. You can hear that CVT whirring away under the hood there, but nothing that's actually too crazy. It doesn't have quite the same oomph as the CR-V, but as far as ability to merge onto the highway, I mean, thing's plenty quick. I don't think anybody buying this is trying to set land speed world records for acceleration in 0 to 60 times, but I think for a good, reliable vehicle that you can put tons and tons of miles on, this vehicle is shared platform with the new Civic. So this is pretty much a all-wheel drive Civic SUV, for lack of a better term. So yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say about that, but this thing drives really well. Out on the highway, there is definitely a little bit more wind noise. You can definitely hear vehicles coming around you more so than in the CR-V, but it's not too bad in here, actually. According to my Apple Watch, leveling, measuring sound levels. It's about 68, 69 decibels in here. So it's really not bad. Lots of tire noise though. So if you do put a set of more aggressive snow tires on it for winter and whatnot, you are definitely going to get more road noise coming through those tires, but plenty ample. It's cool that the car even shows you how much power is going to each wheel while you're driving it, because it is all-wheel drive. Brakes feel good, pretty linear and easy to predict how the power is going to, you know, come to a stop. So it is a little bit more on the noisy side when you're getting up on the highway, but I don't think it's anything that anybody should really be worried about. And with this car costing $10,000 less, give or take, than the CR-V that we drove in my last video, if you don't need all of those other bells and whistles, then I really don't see, you know, if power figures aren't extremely important to you, if you just want a good, reliable, easy to park, easy to drive, well-equipped base model car, I think you should seriously give the HR-V a look, because just my short little drive on this thing, I have no complaints. The suspension feels great. The throttle is, it's a little mushy, but it is a CVT, so that's to be expected. I don't know, I can't really say anything like really bad about this car. I mean, I wish it had a little bit more power. I wish they offered it, or really any vehicle in this segment, I wish they offered it with a manual transmission, but I don't think most of the people buying this car really want that. Seats are actually pretty comfortable, even for a base model. You can really get a feel for how well the seats from a company are by sitting in the base model, because that tells you if they really care about how the seat feels. Because if you like the way the base seat feels, more than likely you're going to like the way the upper trim levels feel. So don't be afraid to try the base model just because it's the base model. There are plenty of things to like regardless. So let's get this thing back over to the dealer, and we'll kind of wrap this thing up with final thoughts and all that fun stuff. This guy. Alright guys, so I forgot to give my final thoughts, so I'm gonna do it real quick. Nice suspension, decent powertrain, really nice upgrade over the outgoing model. I think if you're in the market for one of these, you're going to be extremely happy with it. We just have to see how everything sort of pans out. But let me know if you guys have any other questions. I do have a contact here. Thank you guys so much over here at Stratum Honda in Stratham, New Hampshire, for giving me access to this beast. If you have any further questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks.